Okay, we're on our final sentence pattern, and we've covered noun, verb, simple two-word sentences, noun, linking verb, noun, and noun, linking verb, adjective sentences. And in both of these sentences, these are considered the predicate complements. And then we did, our last one was noun, verb, noun. Today we're going to talk about, and this was where the subject, verb, and direct object. Today we're going to talk about a noun, verb, noun, noun sentence. Or it's also a subject. So the noun is a subject, a verb, an indirect object, and a direct object. In these sentences, our verbs are action verbs. And they're actions that, well, you'll get it as I show you. So let me give you an example. I baked the class a cake. So I'm sure you would all love me to bake you a cake. What's the verb? Let's always start with the verb. What's the verb? Here's our verb, baked. Who's doing the baking? I am. So here's going to be my subject. Here will be my subject. What am I baking? I'm not baking you because that wouldn't be okay. I am baking a cake. So remember when we did just with direct objects, we said, what's the verb? Who's doing the verb? What's getting the action of the verb? So what's the verb? Baked. Who's doing the baking? I am. What am I baking? I'm baking a cake. And who is getting that cake? What's the indirect object of the baking? The class. Now, I could have written this another way. I could have said, no, I'm not going to do it differently. Let's do another one. My boss sent me a letter. Okay, where's the verb? Here's the verb, sent. Who's doing the sending? My boss is. What is my boss sending? My boss isn't sending me. My boss is sending a letter. So letter is the direct object. Who's getting the letter? This is the indirect object. Now this sentence could be rewritten to have a prepositional phrase. It could say, my boss sent a letter to me. What's the verb in the sentence? Sent. Who's doing the sending? The boss. So those are the same things. What is being sent? A letter. But now technically, this is not, the meaning is still the same. I still have a boss who's sending a letter and it's coming to me. But grammatically, these are different. In this sentence, this is a prepositional phrase, to me. So it's not an indirect object, but it's a prepositional phrase. Let's do another one. The choir sang the elderly a song. So where's the verb? Sang. Verb. Who's doing the singing? The choir. What are they singing? They're not singing the elderly. They're singing a song. So song is our direct object. And who's receiving the singing of that song? the elderly. So this is our indirect object. In sentences like this, the indirect object always comes before the direct object. And I could have written, the children sang a song to the elderly. But then if I did that, it would, even though the elderly are receiving that, that would be a prepositional phrase. So grammatically, they would be structured differently, but they would have the same meaning. Okay, so that is it for our final sentence pattern. Noun, verb, noun, noun, also called subject verb io, dio, where the dio is a direct object and the io is the indirect object.